Win or go home. The phrase is synonymous with anything playoffs. Nothing is guaranteed beyond these next few hours. And for this first NWSL playoff matchup in 2 years, it's two teams with vastly different playoff experience. Gotham hasn't been here since 2013, and as Carly Lloyd winds down her career, can she and Gotham capture a first NWSL title?
Into the box, the cross for Lloyd! It's Carly and it's 1-0.
As for the Chicago Red Stars, a playoff appearance is nothing new. But could this be the year they finally get to lift the hardware that has eluded them? It's all on the line. It's win or go home in the NWSL playoffs. Today from Bridgeview, Illinois in SeatGeek Stadium, the Chicago Red Stars host Gotham FC in the quarterfinals of the 2021 NWSL playoffs presented by Budweiser. A look at the bracket. The winner of our game here today will go to Portland next Sunday. As for the winner of Washington and North Carolina, they will go to Tacoma to take on OL Reign. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. This should be an exciting one with the two-time Olympic gold medalist Allie Wagner. I'm Josh Eastern. So here we go. It's Chicago, it's Gotham. Two kind of different forms coming in, but should be a fun one.
Yeah, and different style of plays at that. I mean, you've got the Chicago Red Stars team that have found their way in the latter part of the season. They want to stay tight. They don't care about possession. They want to live in transition and hurt you in those moments. And for Gotham, this is a team that wants to manipulate you, have the ball in possession, and they've really utilized Midge Person. She's come back. She had a fantastic month. She had 4 goals in her last 5, but I think today can be a day for Carly Lloyd because I don't think there's going to be as many transition moments, and this is going to be a game where you're going to want to get your wing backs up into wide advanced areas. Capri Didasco on one side, it's going to be Dorsey on the other, and they're going to look to find Lloyd in that 18-yard box. And oh, by the way, she can shoot from outside too, and if there's one thing that Cassie Miller has struggled with in Chicago, it's those direct shots on goal. Game changer in Lloyd, absolutely, but on the flip side, you've got Mallory Pugh that Gotham is going to have to be concerned with. She's one of the best in the NWSL at separating from that midfield line, breaking lines on the dribble and unbalancing defenses. She just has to make the right decisions. In this one, she doesn't lay that ball up to Milazzo. She opts to go herself. They don't convert. But there's a reason Mallory Pugh wants to go by herself, because she has found the back of the net. If you think Chicago is going to get a result in this game, I think Pugh has to take her chances.
And let's welcome in the third member of our team, Marissa Pilla.
Playing every single minute of every single match has given Chicago's Sarah Gordon a unique perspective of her team this year. She told me this season has been a roller coaster, with Chicago experiencing both losing and winning streaks on their way to their 6th career playoff appearance. Despite the ups and downs, Gordon said the one consistency Chicago has always shown is belief. Belief in their ability to create an identity, belief in the talent on the field, and belief in knowing they can always find a way to win. Heading into today, Gordon said they are peaking at the right time, having won their last 3 matches. All there's left to do is keep their heads down, focus on the task at hand, and continue to believe.
So we are all set to go from SeatGeek Stadium here in Bridgeview. Chicago and Gotham lineups and first kick are coming up next. Just about set to go from SeatGeek Stadium here in Bridgeview. Chicago Red Stars and Gotham FC. Time to take a look at today's starting 11. We will start with the home side, Rory Dames and the Chicago Red Stars.
Yeah, well, coming in, a question was whether Kruger was going to be healthy or not to get a start. She is not, which means Tatum Milazzo slots in at that right back position and is going to have her hands full with Ifeoma. Carly Lloyd likes to fade that side, and the positioning of Kawasumi. And of course, Kalia Watt up top has been fantastic. She's had 5 goal contributions in her last 5. And then for Gotham, it's going to be about Carly Lloyd, Midge Purse, Player of the Month in October, had 4 goals in her last 5.
And a look at the goalkeepers today. Might they be needed at the very end of this if we get all the way to penalties?
Might, absolutely.
We will see if we get there come 90 minutes and even 30 minutes more should we get there. So we are all set to go. Today's referee is Kevin Broadley. It is Chicago in black. It is Gotham in all white. Waiting on the whistle of Kevin Broadley, and these playoffs are underway from SeatGeek Stadium in Chicago. The Red Stars going left to right, Gotham going right to left. Now this Gotham FC side, a 1-1 draw last time against Louisville, and that was Carly Lloyd to score the lone goal in that game. They kind of are limping into the playoffs, not necessarily in their best form, but they did what they needed to do to clinch that spot.
Yeah, they made it hard on themselves, that's for sure.
Pugh trying to get this out wide. Watt to the end line. We'll look to square. She made the last touch and out for a goal kick. And as for the Red Stars, last time out, a 1-0 win, and it was Kaylia Watt to score the lone goal on the day. Chicago's won their last 3. They've conceded just 1 goal over those 3 games. And in terms of form, this team 5-1-3 in their last 9. But here's Pugh. Options in the middle. She'll try to go back post. A bit too far, and out for another goal kick.
Yeah, and interesting early on here, Josh, just getting a good look at the way Chicago's setting up defensively for the build. And Rory Dames, one of the things he told us was that they wanted to push on to put pressure on Allie Long and McCarl Zerboni. If they can get those numbers up in those areas, they're going to force Gotham to play longer. We'll see if that trend continues.
This is the 6th straight season making the playoffs. And last time in 2019 was Chicago's only playoff win. Getting to that final before losing to North Carolina. They beat Portland here, and when we were talking with Rory Dames, he thought it was that playoff game that really started to build some momentum. Coming back from the World Cup, there was a game where all the World Cup players were finally back on the field, but he thought this was the start of something special. They've been in the playoffs. Now how do they progress?
You know, this team has really settled in the second half of the season. We talked about it in the Open. Part of the reason for that is they slid back into double sixes, which provided them a bit more balance, allowed some of their playmakers to be on more of the front foot, and Mallory Pugh, Kaylia Watt, and the chemistry that's built between those players. So if this team is going to make a deep run, you feel like it's going to land on the shoulders of Mallory Pugh, Kaylia Watt in particular.
Some pressure there at the back. Gordon able to win it. She always likes to get forward. Now it's DiBernardo. Pressured by Long. And the last touch off of DiBernardo. Another goal kick. And as for this Gotham FC side, of course, this is a homecoming of sorts for Scott Parkinson. His 9th match in charge, and the first one he was supposed to coach, he missed it due to a family matter. It was against this Chicago side, so some emotions today for Parkinson coming back. As Gotham look to build out of the back once more. But under Scott Parkinson, as you saw, 3-0-5. They have yet to lose under Parkinson. That's a big reason why he is up for Coach of the Year in the NWSL.
And he made some adjustments coming in when he got to Gotham, and one of them was similar to Rory Dames in that he transitioned this team into the double sixes as well. And this team wasn't as organized in their press. They're pressing higher up the field now. The weak side fullback often ties in to seal off, and so their regains are in higher positions.
A great crowd here at SeatGeek Stadium. It is a picture-perfect day. Mid-60s here in Chicago, and here come the Red Stars again, trying to turn the corner. Watt bringing it in, the shot scooped up by Sheridan. Seems like some one-way traffic here in the opening few minutes. A lot of Chicago getting into the attack. Lewandowski will distribute out wide to the right side. Zerboni in the middle. Nobody making the run down the right. Into the corner, this one Ushered out of play. It'll be a goal kick Chicago's way this time. There's Caprice Didasco. What a season it has been from her. 24 appearances, led the team in minutes and assists, up for Defensive Player of the Year. Such an integral part of this Gotham FC side.
Yeah, and to think she's come back from 3 ACL tears. Truly remarkable the year that she's had this season.
Old Mo. And now here comes Gotham, trying to get this out wide on Amanu. All the way into the corner. Pressured by Gordon, who loves those 1v1s. Dorsey now will put this in. Cassie Miller maybe battling a bit of sun. Lets it bounce right out of play.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. The runs that are coming from Ifeoma Amanu against Sarah Gordon going 1v1, because you're going to have Kawasumi sit in the half space between the lines and invite out Milazzo. And so as much as Sarah Gordon likes those 1v1s, so does Onamanu.
Here's Hill. This is kept in play by Gatral. Watt won't get away with that one. Johnson going down, a free kick back to Gotham.
Kalia Watt already causing problems with his back line of Gotham. It's a really good first touch. You know the space is behind there. You can take that longer stride then. I don't know, not much in that one. But she's already causing problems. She's sitting on that center back. One of the things about the Chicago team is there's no team in the NWSL right now that goes faster to the opposition's goal.
This will be another whistle. And a free kick going Gotham's way, this time in the attacking half. It will be Didasco to stand over it for Gotham. The line just outside the 18-yard box. Miller awaits in goal. Didasco right to the top of the area and headed away. Looked like Hill got there first. Dorsey and Gotham will reset. Here's Long. Again out wide, Dorsey. Trying to play this centrally. It's Carly Lloyd. Last touch off of Gotham. Throwing back to Chicago. Carly Lloyd, of course, it's win or go home, which means it's win or, I guess, go home for good, right?
Yeah.
Trying to play it down the line, DiBernardo. Dorsey there to cover. This is Gotham's first time in the playoffs since 2013. They lost their only playoff game to Western New York, and funny enough, Lloyd was on that Western New York side and scored in the game. That's the flag up for offside on Purse. So not a ton of playoff experience for Lloyd, at least in the NWSL. Obviously, knockout games, nothing new to her.
No, no doubt. But that is true. When you look at one of the elusive elements to her career, it has been a club championship, and I know she wants to make that right. Spoke with her earlier, and she said, I'm looking to extend the time before my retirement.
We'll see if Chicago lets her do that today. Of course, she has won an English FA Cup in her time with Manchester City.
Had to throw that in, didn't you?
You know, I got to keep them honest. Again, it's Gordon. Anything stick out to you in these opening 10 minutes?
As expected, really. Again, Chicago is not going to be a team that's going to look to solve the pressure necessarily going back. They want to break that immediate line, playing an advanced ball. And if they turn it over, so be it. At least they can recover back in their shape.
This is the fourth matchup between these two this year. Twice it has finished in a 0-0 draw. The only other win in this series was on June 25th, a 2-1 win for Gotham. Long and Purse scored in that game. Doniak scored late on for Chicago. Trying to play this through, cutting back in field. The shot is eventually saved by Miller.
Oh, and it's so well done by Onumonu. The ability to get on the half turn there in really tight area. This is special by her. You can see how tight it is between Tierna Davidson and Sarah Gordon, both center backs, and she just put Sarah Gordon on her backside. Doesn't get anything on that shot, however. Difficult angle for her to get anything on frame and test Miller, and that's one of the things Miller is good at, is cutting down those angles. Good positioning.
First really good chance of the match for Gotham as Lloyd tries to work out of a tight space. Watt trying to be sprung out on the counterattack. A touchdown to play.
And that's just not the right ball by Lewandowski. One of the things this Gotham FC team can do is make Mallory Pugh defend and try to advance down that right side. Didasco, as you said earlier, has 5 assists on the season, one of their most attacking wing backs in the league. They need to take advantage of that. Scott Parkinson said they're going to be wild and aggressive on the front foot today.
Lloyd tried to play that quick through for Onumonu. Another reset here at the back for Gotham. We've talked about playoff experience on this Gotham side. 17 players on a playoff roster for the first time. It's just 4 players for Chicago. We'll see how that plays out as these 90 minutes go by, and maybe even more.
And it is truly remarkable when you think about the players that Chicago has lost this season. Alyssa Nair, Julie Ertz, now Kruger not available today. Big names.
And a whistle, offside flag going up. And to that point, Rory Dame said he feels this group, of all the groups he's been with, and it's been a lot, feels the least amount of pressure. And even though losing all those big pieces, here they are hosting a first-round playoff matchup.
Oh, that's a really good point. I think a lot of people had written them off halfway through the season.
You'll remember that first regular season match coming out of the Challenge Cup, went up to Portland, lost 5-0. Since then, they have really started to turn a corner. Dasco taken away. Maternit Hill. Chicago looks forward into the attack. Now 14 minutes gone in this quarterfinal.
And Chicago's doing a nice job early on of just taking away the 2 mids of Gotham FC, the central mids, and Ali Long and McCall Zerboni. You're seeing them at times look like a 4-1-4-1 because either Gautreau or Woldmo is stepping up to McCall.
This will set up a free kick for Chicago this time. Chance for the Olympic gold medalist Kaylin Sheridan to organize this back line for Gotham. And it will be the regular Davidson to stand over this set piece as she normally does for Chicago. Options just outside the area. She'll drive this in towards the penalty spot. Second ball picked up, and on the volley, it's blasted out of play. Again, played back to Sheridan.
And this is fine. Chicago wants that first ball to come wide to the outside back, and that's where they look to close and win it. Gotham, on the other hand, they know that, and they don't want to play that initial pass wide. They can get someone to bite initially, then play it. Create more space for that time for the player in that wide area.
Good wine for Dorsey. Anumanu will try to make the run in. Instead, it's Miller to cut off the angle. Here's Lloyd on the turn, ahead for Anumanu. Once again, it's Gordon. A bit more pressure here for Miller on the distribution.
That's nice by DiBernardo.
Gonna turn the corner on the far side. Here's Mallory Pugh. Up ahead for Kalia Watt. A bit too heavy, and Sheridan here to collect again for Gotham. Dorsey under a bit of pressure will just knock it back for Sheridan once more. Now Gotham will start its build. Here's Woldmo, formerly of Gotham. Collision there on that far side. There's Woldmo who went down on the far side, right in front of Rory Dames.
And I'm pretty sure she was pointing just stud marks across her thigh, got raked. Barney known for going into tough challenges.
Well, let's welcome in the third member of our team, Marissa Pilla.
Every time Gotham's backline is on the ball, head coach Scott Parkinson is telling them to get wider. Gotham wants to stretch the field, and because Chicago's outside backs are staying home, they want to make them step out and create space in behind. Gotham doesn't necessarily have to play those wide areas. They can continue to try to push that ball centrally, but they just want to create more options by getting more space out in the field.
Yeah, and it's the risk reward. If you're turned over in transition, a lot more space to recover from, but absolutely, you got to create those channels to open up space in the interior. Ultimately, if you can get Chicago to collapse a bit, then you're going to be able to find Didasco, Dorsey, and ultimately create your 1v1 with Hurst and Ifeoma.
Zerboni just holding things as Chicago is nearly out on the break once again. Kawasumi. Anumanu trying to hold play up for Gotham. Dorsey, Kawasumi, Manu, closed down quickly by Gordon. Now Lloyd. Purse. And a throw in for Gotham. Gotham trying to get Midge Purse involved, maybe just a little bit more. Up, of course, for MVP, 9 goals on the season. One back by Didasco in a good area. This will be played out wide. Carly Lloyd, low service in. Cleared away by Woldmo.
And you said it, Josh, that is the ceiling shape that Gotham wants to have on the weak side. Didasco's able to step in, and then now they keep Chicago pinned in.
Zerboni battling for it, couldn't come away with it. Chicago trying to get that line higher.
And I've just been watching Allie Long try to find space to impact the game. DiBernardo has been tasked with spying her. And Allie Long has tried to get in front of that midfield line. She's gotten behind it. Now she's pulling wide just to get some touches.
Able to keep it in play. Hill coming in field. Will slip this in behind. What may have been pulled back. Referee had a good eye on it. Had no call.
That looked clear as day from up here, and what a ball in that would have been.
Chicago maybe knocking on the door, just as it feels like Gotham is starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the attack.
But that is how the Chicago team plays.
Allie Long. It's Dorsey. Played down the line. Purse in space. We'll let this roll all the way to the end line before putting it into the middle. Again, Dorsey will pick it up. Long with space. Switch the play for Didasco. Puts this in towards the top of the area. Lloyd was lunging for it. Bernardo. Flag is up on the far side, and the referee will put a stop to play. But going back to the other end, this was close.
And it's such a good slip pass by Watt, and you can see right there, clear as day, the extension of the arm. Comes in from Estelle Johnson, drags Kalia Watt down. That's a foul right at the edge of the 18, too. She would have been in.
So potential chance missed there for Chicago.
And the ref was right behind that play.
Yeah, he had a good view of it.
It looked like he had line of sight. Maybe a little playoff nerves for him.
Well, thanks so much for being with us today. NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. Chicago and Gotham with Allie Wagner. I'm Josh Eastern. Marissa Pilla down on the field. Winner will move on to face Portland next Sunday. Winner of the other quarterfinal later on will go to OL Reign and Tacoma. Gordon wasn't quite alert to it, but recovered well. Again down the line. Hill couldn't keep it in play. Now Asumi dropping back, and will try to find space on the far side. How quickly can Gotham get into the attack? Didasco racing down the right. Was deflected in the middle, looking for Zerboni, and turned over. Petrov fending off Lloyd. Now Pugh. Davidson. Chicago just probing this back line again. Some time on the ball and not in transition. Here's Lloyd, able to sidestep one, and not the second. She goes down, free kick.
Chicago had numbers to counter press in the situation. Davidson steps up initially. It buys a little bit of time for Gautrat to come over and make that challenge on Lloyd.
Goal last time out. She's been amongst the goals over the last few weeks. She has scored in the playoffs before, of course, as we mentioned, against Gotham all the way back in 2013. And she notched another one here today.
And we'll see if Gotham can get out of the tight pressure again. They did so on the last throw they had. Chicago really squeezes to this near side, and Gotham did well just to get out the other side and release Didasco.
Now Sheridan spraying this all the way out to the right side. Not kept in play again.
But you love the idea. Kayleen Sheridan has such great range. Many times we've seen her break lines of pressure that the opposition will put her under.
And remember, she was injured in the Challenge Cup final, and through that Challenge Cup, that quad injury she picked up in the She Believes Cup, it was actually Didi Haricic who was in goal for that final against Portland. Though she's played plenty of knockout football over the summer, the gold medal, of course, in Tokyo. Speaking to Scott Parkinson about that Challenge Cup final, he said, we haven't really brought it up a ton just because I wasn't there, but players and staff no doubt have talked about it as maybe a missed opportunity, and maybe it's something that could spur them on in these playoffs. Well, coming up tonight, of course, our second quarterfinal, Washington and North Carolina, who was able to get in on the last day. Of course, the track record of North Carolina, but Washington in great form.
Yeah, my money was not on North Carolina making playoffs, that's for sure. I thought Houston was going to get in, but they do have that gift of second life. And Washington has been in incredible form. You look at the young talent they have. A lot of talk coming out of that club as well, and just how they've shored things up. Defensively, they've got more balance behind the ball, and that is really what's helped them spur on in these last 8 games.
The winner of that one will take on OL Reign. Winner of this one to take on Portland. Of course, you might expect, is Gotham with over 60% of the ball thus far. But only one shot to show for it. Chicago with 2.
Not clean by Kawasumi, but Kawasumi starting to filter more centrally, giving that space to Dorsey to advance. And that's one of those matchups that I'm watching today, is the positioning of Kawasumi. How does she manipulate the 6 of Chicago or the outside back, which is incredibly important to how this team breaks that initial line of pressure.
Foul from behind there on Woldmo. Scott Parkinson, when talking about some of that creativity, said smart movements will be required and make them make decisions.
Yeah, and I don't think the counter movement has been good yet. I don't think that player from midfield has been surging in behind, hasn't been close enough to make that run. If you're playing into the movement of the opposition, it makes it incredibly easy for them, especially how athletic this back line is from Chicago, and that's what we've seen early on.
Turned over, here's Hill. Again, the wrong pass.
You can see almost at the bottom of your screen, the 4 midfielders looking like a 4-1-4-1 from Chicago.
Dasco was calling for it on the far side and said it comes to this left. Here's Purse. Kawasumi feeling pressure from behind. Lewandowski, now Didasco. Zerboni is fouled for her efforts. Very well done by the captain, and a free kick.
Incredibly well done by Zerboni. Good feet here. This pressure of 2 players coming goes right through the legs of Woldmo. Gets a shove in the back as a result.
Excuse me.
Having none of that. Great work by Zerboni. Now this is an area that Lloyd will like to feast on. We've seen Kawasumi used as a pick for Carly Lloyd. It'll be interesting. Both are free right now.
Didasco for 5 assists on the season. More depth to this cross. Bouncing through, picked up Kawasumi. Didn't quite catch it clean enough.
Not good enough by Kawasumi. You see that initial line of Chicago dropping back to deal with the first ball, but that meant no one was wise to the second ball popping out to Kawasumi, who just held her run up and picked up the scraps. Poor take.
Milazzo trying to play it through. Remember, Kruger not in the 18 today. A push as Lloyd goes down. He'll set up another free kick for Gotham. Lloyd tries to take it quick. It looked like Dorsey was calling Didasco over instead of turnover. Here's Pugh. Milazzo. Shut down by Dorsey. Well, it's a big talking point with Rory Dames this week of kind of their turning point in the season. He said when we got Davidson and Kruger back, able to solidify that back line, that was crucial. Now Kruger, of course, not there in one of the biggest games of the season. And here's Watt, and earning a corner kick for Chicago.
Yeah, and also added to that, just the chemistry that has evolved between Watt and Pugh. Hill, he still thinks there's layers to go to that. But there has been an understanding that has been building and evolving over the course of the season.
Usually Davidson, the popular choice to put in the corners. Instead, it's Mallory Pugh. Driven in over the penalty spot. Stay alive on the far side. Another cross comes in, the header down. Oh, is just missed. And out of play.
Well, it's not the initial ball in that caused much problem for Gotham. It's this resurface. You can see everyone get set again, and looks like Hill gets free, loses her mark at that back post. Couldn't connect.
And turned over. Chicago looking forward again. Options in the middle, all the way to the back post. Falls to the top of the 6, and a diving clearance. And now maybe Gotham in transition. Anumanu goes down quickly, regained her footing, and finds Lloyd. And a cut infield, and Lloyd, maybe a little frustration foul there. Free kick to Chicago.
And it felt like Lloyd has been a little bit frustrated. We saw it on the quick restart and then on that last play. But here's a look at the recovery effort by Imani Dorsey.
Dorsey, her 16th appearance on the season, her 4th season with Gotham. Let's send it down to Marissa Pill on the field.
Chicago's assistant Julianne Sitch said right now the Red Stars are doing well when they're on the ball, but they need to do a better job at digging out second opportunities in possession. Chicago likes the 1v1 matchups their front runners have against Gotham's back line, and they want to continue to send those players in behind.
Kawasumi in for Lloyd. Again, it's Chicago trying to get out in transition. Goes down quickly by Long, and again Gotham a reset. Just past the 38-minute mark. Chances few and far between for either side.
Yeah, but the Chicago side has looked the more likely to score. They've looked more threatening. And that's really been the script second part of the season for Chicago. They don't care about the possession. Corey Dames told us, we found our element. Keep things tight centrally, play in transition.
Miller able to scoop up the cross. That was deflected on the far side. Purse put it in. Zerboni. Again, Dorsey. Quick over the top, and the flag is up for offside. Anumanu couldn't quite get there, but the referee will let it play on. Zerboni closing down Gautrat quickly. Falls for Lloyd. Picked up by Anumanu. Kawasumi, Lloyd. Back for Anumanu. Shot from the top of the area. She might have lost her footing just as she made contact, but scooped up by Miller.
Incredible close by McCall, which helped turn the ball over in this advanced area and gave Onumonu this opportunity. Look how tight it is for Gotham to play through that pressure of Chicago, and Onumonu still gets a shot off.
DiBernardo steps in. Milazzo with space to work down the right. Putting this cross in. Really no intended target. Watt cushions this out wide. The underlap to the end line. Deflected cross will put it out for another Chicago corner.
Service has been so good, and they like to crowd that near post.
Chicago's second corner is an in-swinger from Pugh. Cleared away from the back post area. Davidson will try to keep it alive. Now Pugh fights through, this time with her left foot, curling away from goal, headed back into the mixer, and then cleared away. Last-ditch defending there from Gotham. A play through the lines.
And that's where you want Mallory Pugh receiving the ball, not necessarily Rachel Hill. And here's a good look at the resurface they came in off the initial corner from Mallory Pugh. She gets a second bite at it. Lost this one to the back post. Milazzo just redirecting that into traffic, hoping a teammate can get something on it.
Coming up on our halftime report, we'll preview the other NWSL playoff quarterfinal match between the Courage and the Spirit, plus a look at first half highlights and stats that's coming up at halftime. Still a few more minutes before we get to that 15-minute intermission. There's Lloyd showing that quality in the middle. Kawasumi dispossessed. Here's Gautrat. Milazzo closed down by Dorsey. Gordon only one way, and that's back. Falls for Lloyd, who tried to take it on the first time. Now they've taken a special effort, but it was blocked right at impact. Out wide for Hill. Milazzo, the return ball for Pugh. Only one black shirt in the middle. This goes right through the 6-yard box.
And you'd like to see Pugh go 1v1 there. Allie Long was the one responsible for tracking her. Forced Long into a decision. You could tell Gotham is really trying to overload those central areas now as Kawasumi's taking up more central positions.
Final few seconds of this first half. Remember, there were 2 scoreless draws between these two sides in the regular season. At least through 45 minutes, that is where we stand. There will be no stoppage time. It is 0-0 in this quarterfinal between Chicago and Gotham at halftime.
Yeah, and I think Rory Dames is going to be the happier of the managers heading into the locker room. This is exactly the game that he anticipated. They're imprinting the way they want to, finding Watt 1v1. Hughes had a few moments, but set pieces really looking to be dangerous for Chicago. And the other direction for Scott Parkinson, his side does not look to be creative and breaking down the Chicago that is so tight in those central areas with their back four. They're not asking a lot of questions with them, and they look pretty comfortable dealing with what Gotham is throwing at them right now.
Now let's send it down to Marissa Pillow, who's standing by with Allie Long.
Allie, what allowed your team to break Chicago's initial line of press in that first half?
I think that they try to force you on one side, so before they even get set, before their even numbers are in a good position, we're trying to switch it early and just continually switch it to try to create an overload on one side where they're not.
How can you continue to limit their opportunities on the counterattack?
I think just having really good countermeasures, making sure that numbers are stepping high to kind of stop them before they even get started.
Thanks for your time, Allie.
Thanks.
It is halftime here from Bridgeview, Illinois and SeatGeek Stadium. This quarterfinal scoreless through 45 minutes. Stay tuned for our halftime report at Chicago 0. It's Gotham 0. Welcome back to the 2021 NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. Josh Eastern, Allie Wagner with you from SeatGeek Stadium. Halftime between Chicago and Gotham. One more quarterfinal to come up later tonight on Paramount Plus, 5:30 Eastern. Washington and North Carolina. This should be a fun one.
Oh, you know it. You got Ashley Hatch, Golden Boot winner, out of nowhere really for this Washington side. They are young, exciting. Trinity Rodman has been fantastic. A rookie with 6 goals, 6 assists. And North Carolina, a team that really has second life, and how dangerous with the experience they have and some of the talent they have, if they can put it together and make a good push in playoffs.
And of course, a look at the bracket. Winner of our game today will go to Portland. Winner of the second game will go up to the Pacific Northwest in Washington.
Yeah, what a gift that is if you win this game. You get to go face #1 Shield winners, Portland Thorns, in Providence Park. Good luck on that one. And OL Reign have been fantastic in the latter part of the season. So again, great matchups if you get past these first rounds.
Well, the 2021 NWSL Championship game is presented by Budweiser. Saturday, November 20th, live on CBS at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific from Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Halftime here from Bridgeview, Illinois and SeatGeek Stadium 0-0 between Chicago and Gotham. Well, with Allie Wagner, I'm Josh Eastern. So not a whole lot going on in that first 45 minutes in terms of attack. How do we spice things up in the second 45?
That was polite. I mean, it's got to be cleaner, right? If you look at the way that Gotham is playing, it has not been good enough. Carly Lloyd has been out of sorts a bit. I don't think they've broken Chicago down. We know Chicago's stingy defense, but they are the ones that look the more likely side to score. I mean, there wasn't a lot of positive play, but the second half hopefully will bring more. The last 2 times these teams have met, it has been 0-0 draws. So I think this is what we almost expected coming into the match. If you're going to look at a positive player from Gotham, it's been Ifeoma Onumonu. She does incredibly well in this situation. She gets just on the half turn between 2 center backs, puts Sarah Gordon on her backside, and then Davidson does just enough to throw her off so she can't convert in that situation. But Onumanu's been the one that is threatened from Gotham FC. On the flip side, Chicago's had a couple really good moments. I think this was the best one of the half. Rachel Hill does well to drive centrally. That opens up the channel between the center back and the outside back, and this is a missed call by the ref. Estelle Johnson drags Watt down. Watt might have been in a 1v1 situation with Sheridan. They don't get the call. We're sitting 0-0. Marching on into the 37th minute. This ball played across, looked promising, but Imani Dorsey does incredibly well just to get back, snuff out the danger by Rachel Hill, who might have been offside. Another missed call potentially by the ref in that situation. And then as the half wore on, there were actually more set plays opportunities for Chicago. This was one of them. It was actually a resurface coming in from Malpew. This one gets knotted back into the danger zone, but Chicago unable to convert, and both teams march into half 0-0, and second half we'll see what comes.
So still all to play for. Our first half stats, those 3 Chicago shots from 3 different players. Only one of them found the frame of goal. As for Gotham, just those 2 shots on goal, but 58% possession. So it is this quarterfinal presented by Budweiser here at SeatGeek Stadium. 0-0 between Chicago and Gotham. Will we get some goals in the second 45? Welcome back to the NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. Chicago 0 and Gotham 0. Before we get back to the action, let's get to know a little bit more about Mallory Pugh from the Chicago Red Stars. Today's player profile presented by MasterCard, a partner with the Cheat Code Foundation to provide mental wellness services to individuals in underserved communities. As for on the field, youngest American to score an Olympic gold, that was in 2016. 15 goals and 9 assists in 66 games in the NWSL. But Mallory Pugh, her partner, Dansby Swanson, he got a ring, and now it's her turn to try to get one of those.
It's baseball. Does it really count?
Oh, come on. Come on. America's pastime picture. She was in Houston when the Braves clinched it just earlier this week. And we'll see if she can spearhead this attack in the second half, and as we talked about, we're still looking for a little bit of that.
Yeah, and you'd think that Mallory Pugh would be that spark for Chicago. I was just looking at stats for Gotham FC. Midge Purse, fewest amount of touches in that first half with only 20. She's a player that they've got to get going.
With Allie Wagner, I'm Josh Eastern. Second half of this first NWSL quarterfinal. Still one more to go after us. And we are underway for the second 45 minutes here from SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. No subs at halftime for either side. So the same 11 out there for both teams. The trauma have taken that right off the face as play continues. Now, what is at stake for both of these teams? A trip to the Pacific Northwest and Portland. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, the pleasure of playing in Providence Park against the Shield winners.
NWSL will focus on Cascadia for the semifinals next week. And a set piece opportunity again for Gotham, just on the other side of halftime. And again, it's Didasco. A bit too far out, you think?
For a go herself, absolutely. But just watching Carly Lloyd, she was starting at the backside of that line. Now she's withdrawn a bit. It looks like she's going to use Kawasumi potentially as a pick to get free.
Didasco will play this out to the left. Dorsey fires a ball into a great area, and Miller was strong in net. A little bump there on the way out. Evan Broadley will stop play. A quick word with Midge Purse. The veteran Carly Lloyd stepping in.
Oh, here's a look at what happened. Purse is just trying to deny the quick release of Cassie Miller. And you can do that.
Let's send it down to Marissa Pilla, the third member of our team who caught up with Chicago.
The word at Chicago Rory Dames used to describe that first half was uneventful. Red Stars need to be better on the ball, make Gotham's defense move a little bit more with smarter passes in possession. On defense, Chicago defended well out of possession, but Dames really emphasized the importance of getting the attack going, especially in the counter.
I mean, you know, leave it to Rory to be fair in his assessment. He's spot on.
Somebody's got to say it. Here's Purse. Kawasumi. Now Didasco. Lloyd on the half turn. Zerboni. Gotham will rotate it around the right now. Didasco, plenty of air under this, and Miller able to jump up and make the catch. Ahead for Watt. DiBernardo provides width. Running right at Dorsey. It's an option there in Milazzo. Nothing comes of that attack for Chicago.
Oh, that's a perfect example of what Rory Dames is talking about, just the misconnection between those two players. Not the right decision to try to find DiBernardo there.
SeatGeek Stadium has been a great spot this year for the Red Stars. A franchise high in wins in a single season at home. Best mark in the league as Sheridan has to sprawl out for this. They've also scored 18 of their 28 goals here at home.
Yeah, but they could have had one even there, but no one gambles on that, right? Player in the 18 has to sense that ball is going to come in, and that's the only spot it can land in. And it's interesting because that's what Watt had told us the other day. They were doing so well.
Anumanu still coming forward. Trying to cut back in field. Picked up by Long. Zerboni. Didasco. Again, right at Miller. Carly Lloyd trying to get things going here in this second half. Remember, you need a reminder, this could be it for Carly Lloyd if Gotham does not advance. Flicks forward. Here's Watt. Now Pugh on the turn. Top of the area, DiBernardo will lay this off. Gatra for Watt. Trying to put something in the middle. Nothing comes of it. And now Lloyd on the turn. Hounded by Woldmo. Might this be the first yellow card of the match? It is.
Well, Chicago was talking about stopping the transition game of Carly Lloyd, Mitch Persifioma. Woldmo has to drag Lloyd down here as she's beat.
So Woldmo into the book. 6 years with Gotham for Woldmo. Every minute of the Fall Series and Challenge Cup last year. Lewandowski going to take up a bit of space. Zerboni. Woldmo finds Watt. Was tripped up, free kick Chicago. Trying to find space quickly on that right side. They do with Hill. Hill stands one up. Sheridan is there to make the catch. Manu cut off by Milazzo. Parkinson asking for a whistle. He won't get it. Good touch there by Parkinson on the far side. Of course, back here in Chicago, where he was an assistant. Ball played in and quickly headed away by Aaron Wright. Popped up right into the middle of the area. Falls for Didasco. Lost her footing. Pugh might be off to the races. Plenty of space on this left side. Pugh does very well, and she still is going forward. Mallory Pugh, Watt to the right. White jerseys coming back defensively. Now things will slow down. Lazo. All put into the middle. Good try. Looping up and over.
We've seen a couple players lose their footing on this pitch. Allow Chicago to get into the attacking third. Cottrell finds herself in a more advanced position. Just a lofted cross. It's really difficult to get much on this.
Chances have been few and far between in this match. Elimination on the line. This played through for Anumanu. Davidson right there defensively. And this a free kick. This will go back the other way. This called against Anumanu.
Feels as though this game is opening up a bit. This ball over the top on Umano, chases down, and Tierna Davidson gets a step on her, gets body positioning, draws the foul. Good defending.
Lloyd moves it into the corner on Umano. At the last touch, a goal kick to Chicago. Carly Lloyd, this could be it for her career if Gotham does not advance.
And you can tell with her positioning, just asking a bit of questions of that back line at times, getting three up on them with Kawasumi in the interior. Lloyd occasionally popping off that back line. So different looks for them to handle.
Play down the line. Lloyd trying to get a bit more involved in this match in this second half. Taking off the ball and still coming forward. It's Gordon. And she loves to get forward when she can. That pass off the mark. Purse driving forward. Just put out a play, no nonsense defending. Throw in for Gotham. A lot has been made about this center back tandem with Gordon and Davidson. So close off the field as well. Davidson actually went trick-or-treating with the Gordons and Gordon's young son. She was a ghost. And it shows on the field as well as off how close they really are. Lloyd keeps it moving again. Defended by Milazzo. Here's Long. Center backs, Lisnell Johnson And Lewandowski. Dasco tried to return it for Anumanu. Too heavy, now Zerboni carries it forward. Deflected cross, Didasco on the one time. Volley from outside the area. Nothing to test Cassie Miller. Carly's parents, Steve and Pam, in the crowd today, want to be here right up until the very end.
They're on the farewell tour as well, clearly.
See if Carly can make an impact as she did last week, scoring against Racing Louisville. Is played up over the top for Hill to run into. Trailing runs from Pugh and Watts. Hill will cut this back. The cross comes in, Lewandowski clears it away. DiBernardo from distance and closed down by Long. Betra. Here's Watt. And a corner kick upcoming for Chicago. Right in front of the supporters section behind the goal. They're making some noise, trying to inspire the Chicago side to find that opener. Third Chicago corner, first of this second half. They'll play it short. Pugh will get it back. Put one in, and Sheridan just getting fingertips on it to pull it into her grasp.
And it's a good wrinkle from Chicago on the set piece, getting Mallory Pugh at a different angle. I like she's trying to drive that to a teammate.
Woldmo with Pugh. Mallory Pugh! Chicago had been knocking on the door. They finally break it down, and it's 1-0 to the Red Stars.
And it just felt like this game was opening up in the second half, and that was always going to benefit Chicago more. It's a nice little overlapping run by Mallory Pugh, who gets that put right in stride by Woldmo. Drives at that first defender, makes her hold her position, buys Pugh that extra bit of time, and then it's just a cool, calm finish into that far post as Mallory Pugh opens up and curls that one home for the 1-0 lead.
Had scored 4 goals during the regular season, and now gets one here in the playoffs. 61st minute for Chicago. And now Gotham, they've had all the possession. It seems like they've been knocking on the door equally as much as Chicago. Now they'll be chasing.
Yeah, but the open game really can suit the Chicago team because they are so dangerous in transition, and that's what's going to make now the game management even more precarious for Gotham, because how much do you go for it knowing that you've got Mallory Pugh's ability in transition, Kalia Watt's ability in transition? What do you risk? How much do you risk? Scott Parkin said he wanted to be wild coming into this match. Well, we're going to see if it pans out.
So if things stand, Chicago 30 minutes away from a trip to Portland next weekend in the semifinals. Mallory Pugh getting back to health has been so key for her over these past few months. And now it seems like she's back to that form that we saw when she was in the World Cup with the United States back in 2019. She seems to be playing with so much confidence.
Yeah, different level. I mean, Mallory Pugh, who burst on the scene, you said it at halftime, youngest player to score in Olympics for the U.S. and then just stalled, had a lot of injuries. And now you're starting to see Mallory Pugh start to find her form, be free. There's so much more in her to go to next levels, I should say. And finishing consistently is one of them. Well, here's another look at the goal. It's Caitlin Sheridan playing that ball out centrally McCall Zerboni gets picked up by Woldmo, and now Gotham is in a world of hurt as Mallory Pugh is isolated on that left side. Poor decision by Sheridan.
There's no doubt this second half has come to life. Purse just drifting into an offside position. Tried to hold that run, but no dice.
And you got to think that part of the reason Kaylin Sheridan plays that ball centrally is because they know that Chicago wants to trap in the wide areas. So they want to hit central first, make them collapse, then find more space out wide. They paid a price.
The assist on that goal goes to Woldmo. This is one back in a good area. DiBernardo had it blocked down. Now it's Watt. Kaylia Watt right into side netting.
And again, players losing their footing on this surface. Allie Long slipped initially, and then a couple players bumbled into her, and that forced the turnover.
Now Pugh a little bit iffy there as well. They'll try to run it off here. It's been a beautiful couple days in Chicago, so no rain. Through the middle for Pugh. Lewandowski stepped in. Remember, under Scott Parkinson, this Gotham side has not lost. 3-0-5 since he took over on the last day of August. And now what buttons does he want to press in terms of going to the bench? Change in tactics. What could it be? To the end line. This ball put into the middle. Plenty of white shirts there to head away. DiBernardo on it. Puts it in for Kaylia Watt. Some pressure here from Gotham trying to clear it away. Gautrat may have been pulled back, but she gets onto it now. Pugh settles. Now right. Pugh will spray it out to the right side again. Milazzo. And a corner kick to Chicago. The crowd really starting to get into things more. A fourth corner kick coming up for Chicago in this match. Again, it's Mallory Pugh who stands over it. Driven in, Sheridan had to be careful there, but in the top side of the net. A couple of substitutions coming on. Mandy Freeman will replace Gina Lewandowski. And Naomi Kawasumi will also come off, while Paige Monahan will come on. What do you make of these two subs?
I'm just going to see how this plays out. If they're shifting systems, it could be a real possibility that they're going into a three-back.
And it looks like Mandy Freeman was given a yellow card as she came on. She came on before she was waved on as Lewandowski was still running off.
My.
So Mandy Freeman already with a caution here.
They just may be in a 4-3-3 now.
It's Dorsey. Lloyd. Zerboni. Didasco. Blocked cross. Again, nothing doing there for Gotham. Now let's send it down to Marissa Pilla.
Right before Mallory Pugh's goal for Chicago, she had switched places with Kalia Watt into that number 9 role. Assistant coach Julianne Sitch said the adjustment was made not only because of Watt's ability out wide, but because of Pugh's ability to take on defenders 1v1. Chicago wants to continue to ask multiple questions of Gotham's back line and show them different options, and the first result of that was Pugh's goal.
Yeah, and those players' place change all the time. You see Kalia likes to pull herself wide, and Pugh will filter centrally, or Hill will. There's a lot of rotation amongst them, but
flicked over the top. Monahan was playing chase. Still not gone. The last touch is off of Paige Monahan.
But as you said, Marissa, it definitely paid dividends. And now you wonder if that's part of the reason Freeman also is slotted in there at that center back position.
Now, Paige Monahan does have some history scoring against this Chicago side. Before the game, this is going back to 2019 on August 14th. Kaylin Sheridan came up to her and said, "I'm ready for you to score today." She then went on to score a brace and beat this Chicago side. So history there for Monahan. We'll see if she can replicate that and try to come from behind, prolong this season for Gotham. It's Monahan who's still trying to get back to full fitness after missing part of this year as well. Here's Lloyd. Heavy touch. She pays the price for it. DiBernardo, and there's Lloyd. Frustration foul and a yellow card.
And you can see it already that Gotham's going to be more direct with Paige Monahan in. Carly Lloyd almost gets there before Tiarna Davidson. Upset by that fact and trying to slow down any transition that Chicago has. Pulls down DiBernardo.
First time in the playoffs since 2013. She actually spent the 2009 season with this Chicago Red Star side, so familiar territory for her, although a while back for Lloyd. This will be another corner kick for Chicago. Under 20 minutes to go. The Red Stars closing in on a trip to Portland in the semifinals. Again driven in. Sheridan drifting back and making the catch. Now coming up after us, the second quarterfinal matchup. You can find it on Paramount Plus. Washington Spirit hosting the North Carolina Courage. Remember, winner of that one will go up to Tacoma next weekend and take on OL Reign. Here's Purse. Trying to find space. Puts the cross across the 6-yard box. And all the way out of play.
And it begs the question why Gotham have not been able to find Purse more to this point in the game. She's so good 1v1. She has the least amount of touches still for this Gotham FC team as a starter.
Here's Lloyd. Cross put in. Miller, under a bit of pressure, makes the catch. Well, from SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Illinois, NWSL quarterfinal. Chicago and Gotham with Allie Wagner. I'm Josh Eastern. Could this be the last day of Carly Lloyd's illustrious career? Or does she have something to say in this final quarter of an hour? It's another set piece for Chicago. The crowd wants another one, but the next goal in this game going to be, of course, absolutely crucial. And this collision right outside the center circle. Wright and Purse slowly getting back to their feet. The referee blew it dead right away. So a free kick coming for Gotham. Remember, it's Mallory Pugh's goal in the 61st minute on the assist from Sarah Woldmo that is the difference as we stand here with under 15 to go. It's Mandy Freeman standing over it. Bouncing once, and this will go back the other way to Chicago. Substitution coming. Be Elizabeth Eddy coming on to replace Samani Dorsey. Eddy knows a thing or two about success in the playoffs, spending 2017 through midway through the 2019 season with North Carolina.
And Dorsey had missed the last few games, and I think she did look rusty. Some of the decision-making wasn't on tonight. Eddy more attack-minded.
Gordon tracking back defensively and putting it out for a throw-in. This will be a corner kick for Gotham. Set pieces, as they always are in these type of matches, so crucial. Caprice Didasco will take it for Gotham. The in-swinger trying to test Miller, who had to battle through traffic and was fouled. Just the first corner kick of the match for Gotham.
And that's remarkable when you consider you've got Midge Purse, Ifeoma Onumonu, Carly Lloyd. They have not been getting those players into 1v1 situations in the attacking third where they can go at players and make them uncomfortable.
Do you feel that's more Chicago kind of
I think, look, Chicago's been fantastic defensively, organized in the midfield, putting out a lot of fires before they become fires, if you will. But I also think that Gotham FC have been off.
And Pugh might be in on goal. Mallory Pugh already 1 goal to her name. Mallory Pugh, it's saved by Sheridan. Big time goalkeeping by the gold medalist. And it's out for a corner kick.
And this is going to be the risk reward that Gotham is going to have to live in right now. With Mallory Pugh just sitting on that back line, she gets in behind Caitlin Sheridan so well. You can see she takes a sense of where am I in regards to my goal, come out, cut down that angle. And Pugh knows she should have put that away.
The 6th corner kick for Chicago. Put in towards Woldmo. Will fall for Davidson. Monahan trying to get this up for Purse. Midge Purse pulled down. That should be a yellow card for DiBernardo. It is.
And Purse, you're thinking she is going to light up and go 1v1 against Gordon. She slows down a bit. That allows DiBernardo the ability to recover, drags her down. Professional foul. Absolutely a yellow card.
And again, Cassie Miller has to organize this back line for another set piece.
At some point, you think Gotham would knock this one back across the frame of goal, not go so direct.
Freeman and Miller is there. A foul will calm things down for the moment anyway.
It's just meat and drink for Cassie Miller when you're serving that ball so centrally.
It looks like Gotham getting set to prepare 2 more subs. Chicago and Rory Dames have yet to make a substitution. Trying to create something down the left. Cross, and again, too much on it. This will bounce out for a goal kick.
And you asked the question, is it Chicago's defense or Gotham FC? And I said both. Well, that's an example of where it's gone wrong for Gotham, just lack of connection.
2 subs coming on. Evelyn Vienne and Gaetan Tine will come on. Ifi Onumanu will come off along with Midge Purse, or pardon me, changing it to Zerboni.
And that makes more sense to me with McCall coming out. Gaetan Tine coming in, it's an offensive substitution. They're likely going to have Allie Long sit as that single 6, play with 2 10s. Scott Parkinson throwing everything at this now. Vian really good in the box, getting on the end of service, a poacher. Young finisher, Canadian. Hasn't seen a lot of minutes this year, though.
Just her 14th appearance when you bring into the regular season. Space to work for Didasco, an early ball in. It's not going to get it done. Pugh, one of the only outlets now for Chicago. Everybody back defending. 8 minutes to go. Here's Carly Lloyd. You know, she might have something to say. Lloyd was brought down, and now Chicago can look to counter.
Almost so well done by Chicago. Good awareness by Mallory Pugh not to play into the numbers of Gotham on this near side. Stays with her team that was trying to get out.
There's Freeman. Tine. Watt closed down by Didasco. Now played through again for Mallory Pugh. Can she put this away? Andy Freeman steps in. Pugh still on it. Goes to ground, no whistle. And now it's Carly Lloyd racing forward. Lloyd, might she take this herself to the end line? And Miller, through some traffic, makes the catch. Chicago's been so successful at home. This would be their 9th home win when you take into consideration the regular season. And then this playoff match would also only be their 2nd ever playoff win. And a substitution, we'll see Alyssa Motts come on. Rachel Hill will depart. First sub of the match for Chicago, while Gotham has already used all 5.
Yeah, Motts often comes in to close games out. Hill, tremendous work rate. There's a lot of the unsung dirty work for this Chicago team. And Mott's expected to come in and do more of the same, and they're going to want to try to slow this game down a bit. You saw how open the attack was for Gotham in that last transition. Absolutely not what Rory Doings wants to see, sitting 1-0 up.
The latest Gotham has scored this season is the 89th minute. Lately, they've been doing the scoring before the opposition. Chance coming for Gotham, falls for Lloyd, but the flag was up.
And the urgency is clearly there from Gotham. Battle on the ground. Second player comes in, I think it's Tina, who pokes that one through for Lloyd, just on the edge.
Another substitution. Katie Johnson will replace today's goal scorer, Mallory Pugh, who leaves to a very nice ovation.
As she should. Tremendous performance from Mallory Pugh. See how dynamic she is on the wing, but as Marissa reported, slotted into that 9 position, and that's where she got the go-ahead goal.
Chicago just trying to see this out. Just over 3 minutes, plus whatever is left in stoppage time. Five substitution windows, a goal, so we might get a little bit at the end. How did we get to this point? 61st minute, Mallory Pugh. It's been a resurgent season for Pugh. Collision right inside the area. Gotham will need to start to go a little bit quicker here. 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time. That ball was still moving.
As a player, that is the worst whistle you want to hear. You're like, doesn't make any difference.
Last time Gotham failed to score, you have to go back to that game in Chester, 0-0 against the Washington Spirit. Here's Kaylia Watt. Can she put this away? Kaylia Watt. Pressure from Mandy Freeman. Just enough to put her off, and a goal kick.
And Kaylia Watt, you got to go to the corner flag there.
Now she's racing to get back in the play. And again, that same whistle. Rory Dames will take it.
And we may see one more week of Rory Dames in that hoodie.
It's not going anywhere,
no.
Even if it's raining. Big challenge coming in. Johnson will see a yellow card.
And that is poor game management if you're Estelle Johnson. The things you can't do if you need to get a tying goal is foul. Get the ball out of bounds. You've got to keep the ball on the pitch, keep the game moving. These are just moments of time wasting now that Chicago relishes. But Chicago's been better on the day.
Do you feel like how this game played out played into their hands?
Absolutely, because they condensed the spaces that Gotham wanted to ultimately exploit to get those 1v1s with Midge Purce, who had was a non-factor today. That speaks volumes for Chicago's defense, but I also think it was a lot of disconnect that you saw out of Gotham FC, and they couldn't get their rhythm. Allie Long, McCullers-Zaboni couldn't get a hold of the game.
It's still that 1-goal margin. It's still there for Gotham. So we get into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Carly Lloyd trying to put this in the middle. Miller makes the catch and stays in play.
And to your point, Josh, there's still a bit of time left, and as Gotham has gotten more direct, been more vertical in their play, they've looked more dangerous.
Remember, Kaylin Sheridan did make a big 1v1 save against Mallory Pugh that could have made it 2-0. Sheridan. About 2 minutes to go. Is that all that's left in the career of Carly Lloyd? Monahan puts it in. And out for a goal kick.
Midge Purce doing the right thing right now, sprinting and getting that ball. So Chicago has to get it back in play sooner than later. And here's a good look at the ball coming in from Monahan. Vingan's past that near post. It's always going to be a difficult finish for her there. That's one where you just body off the defender and let that one roll across the goal mouth.
Here's Johnson. Lloyd playing it forward. This falls for Vienne. It's blocked. It's still not completely gone. Gotham battling for it. They commit the foul. A minute to go. This would be the first loss for Gotham under that man, Scott Parkinson. Might Carly Lloyd's parents be watching their daughter for the final time? Headed forward, flicked along. Lloyd the long run. She got the last touch. It could be her final touch. 20 seconds to go.
And if it is, what a career she has had.
who scored last time out against Racing Louisville. As Miller puts this back into play. Is there one more chance? Lloyd heads it out. There is the final whistle. The Chicago Red Stars are moving on to the NWSL semifinals. Mallory Pugh's 61st minute goal is the difference. And the sun sets on Carly Lloyd's illustrious career. You can see the joy on the faces of the Chicago Red Stars and, of course, the emotion on the face of Carly Lloyd. And we send it down to Marissa Pilla, who is standing by with Mallory Pugh.
Am I talking to you?
Now, right before you scored that goal, you switched into that number 9 role. How did that adjustment lead to the production of that goal?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this week we really worked on like the build out from once we win it from their goal kicks, and I mean, it's a great transition. Sarah collects the ball, took a touch, and I think the timing was perfect, and overall just a good goal.
Leading into this game, a lot of your teammates talked about the sense of belief that this team has in one another. How much did that belief play a role in getting this result?
Yeah, I feel like every time we're home with all the fans, and just the energy really picks up in the second half. The first half, we usually come out hot, and then it goes down, and then we find our way back into the game, and I think a big part of that comes with belief, and yeah, I'm just proud of my teammates for grinding it out.
Congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Marissa. It is Chicago moving on to the semifinals. They will take on Portland. We will come back and wrap things up from Bridgeview. Welcome back to the 2021 NWSL quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. The Chicago Red Stars, before an announced crowd of just over 7,000 here at SeatGeek Stadium, are moving on to the semifinals. Let's take a look at the Budweiser player of the match. And of course, it has to be the goal scorer.
It had to be Mallory Pugh, and it wasn't just for this goal that she had. She had another chance. Kylie Sheridan came up big, but here's the one that put Chicago up on top and is sending them to that semifinal, Providence Park. Mallory Pugh was a handful all day long, and she got the go-ahead goal. Talk about being a finisher in big moments. Pugh stepped up.
So Pugh with a big goal, and now we send it down to Marissa Pilla, who's standing by with Carly Lloyd.
Carly, you had quite some time to think about this moment. Now that it's here, how does the reality compare to any expectations you might have had?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not afforded another week with this team, but I'm really proud of the group. You know, we played really well today. We've really turned this club around, and I'm very excited to see the future of this club because it's in good hands. This group is amazing on and off the field. I'm proud, and I'm sad as well because this is it, and it's really sunk in today, but I can't be more proud of this group, and the future's really bright for them.
Speaking about you and your career of the last few weeks, there's just been outpouring of love and gratitude towards you. What has become apparent to you about the impact you've made?
I think for so long I've just been playing this sport and trying to be the best that I possibly can and help my teams. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away is how many people I have impacted, and I don't think that I realized that in the moment, and I think I'm realizing that more and more, but for me that's more special than any trophies and any championships won. you know, the amount of people that I've been able to impact through my story and just being my authentic self. I'm proud of that. And although I won't be on the field ever again, I'm going to help this game grow and try to be a part of, you know, anything I possibly can to keep this sport growing.
Carly, from all of us who got to watch you play and experience your career, thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marissa. It is Gotham out in this quarterfinal. And we take a look at the updated bracket. Chicago and Portland next Sunday.
Yeah, and look, there's a dangerous thing when you see a team that is bonded and is united as the Chicago Red Stars is. So Portland may be the #1 seed, but look out, this is a rivalry that has history. And I think this is going to be a real thriller.
It should be a fun one. Well, that'll do it from SeatGeek Stadium here in Bridgeview. For Allie Wagner, Marissa Pill, and our entire crew, I'm Josh Eastern. So long from Bridgeview, Illinois. Please join us next Sunday here on CBS-SN as the NWSL playoffs presented by Budweiser continue. Coming up next, Beyond Limits. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.